Thanks for inviting me here. I thought that was quite an honor to be invited here. And then I got here yesterday afternoon and started to meet some of your people and to see your facility. And I realized the greater honor was actually meeting you folks. It's just really a fine group of people that I've met so far, and I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I started studying lean, didn't know it was called lean. Well, it wasn't even called lean at that time. In the early 1970s, I was working in the electronics industry, and I was really amazed at how the Japanese were starting to beat our pants off in automobile production and electronics production. And my dad was military, and he had always taught me that if you want to beat your enemy, you have to know your enemy. You have to learn them and understand them. So I started studying the Japanese production methods and practices, and that's how I got started with lean. And a salesperson actually, would stop in my office once in a while and ask me what these things were that I was studying, and apparently that word got back to Suzuki, and so I was hired by Suzuki to be Vice President General Manager of Suzuki North America. I'm responsible for all the plants and operations in the US and Mexico, and reported directly to Mr. Otsu in Japan. And that's where I started to learn lean. Let me tell you a little bit about O.C.Tanner. We produce employee recognition awards. So when you've been with the company 25 years or 30 years, 5 years, and we send out that award. You know, a lot of times it used to be that watch with the emblem on the side. We don't do that as often anymore. Times have changed. But that's where I work, and we're pretty good at it. We've been in business about 80 years now. But we started lean about 10 years ago. And at that time when I came into the company, we had 475,000 pieces of whip on the floor. And every one of those pieces had, pretty much every one of those pieces had a diamond or at least gold associated with it. And when you walked up and down our hallways, it kind of looked like walking in a busy mall. There were so many people going up and down the hallways, carrying little trays of things here and there, everywhere in production, that you had to be careful walking down the hall or you'd have an accident. So we've reduced that to less than 5,000 pieces of whip. That means we've put 470,000 pieces of gold back into our cash flow, right? It's not just sitting there on the floor. And all the people, we had people whose job was entirely to track those little trays of product and to find them and to expedite them and to move them around the plant. That's all gone. And now you can walk up and down our hallways and wonder if anybody's doing anything. So it's a big change. We went from, like you, I understand you were something like 15 days on your production cycle time. We were over 18 days on our production cycle time, and we're now down to less than half a day. In December, we were actually pretty close to 3 hours from the time we received an order to the time that we were able to ship it. That's a nice improvement. Our quality from we're a privately held company, so I can't give you some numbers, but which is classified as ridiculous. And it's now never less than 99% quality. Our on-time delivery was, again, ridiculous. Something at one point was only 40% on-time delivery. That was because of a mistake I made. But anyway, it made a nice opportunity for improvement. And today we're you have to create your own opportunities, you know. So today we're never less than 98.5%. Our efficiency has increased fourfold. We're doing more work now than we were with quite a few less people. We don't have less people. We've never laid anyone off throughout all of our lean efforts. We've found other opportunities for them. We've created new product lines, and we've created new opportunities within the company for those people. There was one exception that shortly after 9/11, we panicked, and I think we laid off about 65 people at that time. Other than that, nothing due to lean. Last year, year of recession, our sales grew by more than 10%, and it was our best financial year ever, as far as people can remember. We've got a lot of old people there, and I'm not sure it's, maybe they just can't remember. I don't know. but there's more to it than just the production side. You know, on the accounting side, we've made some great improvements. Even our days receivable have decreased from somewhere around 85 days to less than 50 days. And these numbers are a little bit fictitious, but that's the ratio. Corrections was around 24 days. That's when we have billings that need to be corrected. We had 24 days of cycle time in there. We're actually a little less than 4 days now getting our corrections out and done. Our new customer setup was actually around 4 to 6 months. So a new customer said they want to do business with us, and we said, great, in 4 to 6 months we'll be ready to do your business with you. That was time to set up websites, to set up telephones, to set up languages, to set up custom brochures. 4 to 6 months. Now we're a little less than 6 days. It's from the time that the customer says they want to do business to the point that we have all the websites and everything up and ready for that customer. Every function and aspect of the business has improved as we've gotten past our preconceived ideas that lean does not apply to us. We're different. And every time we get past that, we see some real improvements. So I'm here to give you something to think about, to cause you to give a little bit more thought to lean, not to summarily reject it, not to think that it's just a production thing. That's a big mistake. And I'm going to do that a little bit differently today, a little different approach than you've probably ever heard. I'll address the biggest changes that I think you have to make, and not just you, but any company.